Hi, I'm Cara Fraser. Welcome to day 10 of my 30-day Yoga Connection series, where we will be focusing on practicing headstand. And if that sounds scary to you, if you're scared to go upside down, don't worry. All the inversions in this series are actually practiced at the wall so that you'll feel nice and safe. And I know a lot of people are hesitant to practice headstand or even teachers to teach headstand because of potential risk on the neck. And so in this class and when I teach it, I always have you bring the hands behind the head and use the forearms to bear some of the weight of the body. So it's a way to help protect the neck and to use your arms and your shoulders to take some of the weight off the neck if that's something that is of concern to you. And as always, if you don't want to actually practice the headstand, you don't have to. You could go through the whole class, just develop strength for some of the other classes as you move through the series. So today's class will be starting flat on the back in Shavasana. So legs are hips distance apart, arms by the sides, palms facing up, and eyes closed. Just taking a moment here before we start to move to start to draw focus into the present moment. Noticing how the body feels as it lays on the mat. Noticing how your breath feels. And taking some time here to deepen the breath. Finding longer, slower inhales and exhales. And finding smooth, even breath as the body starts to relax. On the next inhale, hug the knees into the chest. And rock from side to side a little bit. And then bring the legs back to center. Keep that right knee hugged in. Take the left leg straight out onto the mat. Just hugging the knee in for a moment. And then hugging that left knee in and extending the right leg out. Both feet flexed. Hugging that left leg in. Noticing where you feel a stretch here. And then hug both knees into the chest. And take the feet down to the mat and grab your strap. Did you like that little action of grabbing my strap with my foot? And take the ball of the right foot into the strap. So the right leg will extend straight up, left leg will be straight on the mat. Both feet are flexed. Loose grip on the strap and upper arms resting on the mat. I'm trying to keep the hip bones parallel so that right hip bone may be hiking up. Draw that right sit bone down towards the left heel. I actually find when I do that, I can pull my right leg a little bit closer. And then take the ball of the left foot into the strap, left leg up in the air, right leg onto the mat. And it doesn't matter what this looks like. You don't have to have the knee touching the nose. It's more about where you feel a stretch. I was a dancer and a gymnast for many years. In my younger days, my leg would have been, flopped up by my ear. But things change over time. You just need to find a place where you feel it in your body. And then take that foot out of the strap. You can take the strap off to the side and hug the knees into the chest. Keep that right knee hugged in again. Take the left leg straight out. Bring the right arm to a T and take an inhale. Exhale, take that right leg over to the left. It's a little reclined twist here. You could take the left hand on the outside of the right thigh, if it feels okay. Give you a little more of a twist. Ease towards the right hand or the ceiling. And then come back up to center, hug both knees in. And keep the left knee hugged in, take the right leg straight out. Bring the left arm to a T. Take an inhale. Exhale, take the right leg to the left. The left leg to the right. Whew. I used to know my right from my left. You know what leg you're on, right? And then come back up to center, hug the knees into the chest. And rock along the length of the spine a couple times till you can cross over the shins, come into tabletop. So in tabletop, wrists are under shoulders, knees under hips. Belly is lifting up towards the spine. Inhale, pull the chest forward, look forward. Exhale, push through the hands, round the upper back, drop the head. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. And inhale, forward. And exhale, round. And then come back to a neutral spine. Bring the big toes together. Set the hips to the heels for child's pose. Couple breaths. And then come back up to tabletop. I'm actually going to grab my blocks. If you don't have blocks, it's okay. I'll show you what you can do without them. But if you have them, take them shoulders distance apart. You're going to bring the elbows up on the blocks. So it's child's pose with the elbows on the blocks. And the palms will spin up towards the ceiling. Palms come to shoulder blades. So once you're here, the goal is to get this stretch in the shoulder. If you don't have the blocks, you could come back to regular child's pose, flip the palms up, take the palms to the shoulder blades. And here you could walk the elbows an inch towards the front of the mat and then sit the hips back. And then straighten the arms, bring the palms back to the mat. If you have the blocks, you can take them off to the side. And inhale, come up to table. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. Inhale to plank. This time, hold here. Keep looking towards the front edge of your mat. Keep the neck long. Press into the hands, draw the shoulder blades apart. Lift the belly and press the heels towards the wall behind you. And then lift the hips up, downward facing dog. And then with tiny baby steps, walk the feet up to the hands. Try and keep the legs straight. Press the heels into the mat. And then come into a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to standing, arms out to the side. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, bring the arms up by the ears. Exhale, hinge from the hips, long spine, come all the way forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank to chaturanga, halfway down. Inhale to up dog, lift the chest. Exhale to down dog. 5 breaths here. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. Hold here 5 breaths. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sit back, chair pose. Lift the arms in the chest. Exhale, fold forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Right foot comes up between the hands. Inhale up, warrior one. Exhale, frame the foot, step back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog, left foot comes up between the hands. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, step back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit back, chair pose. And exhale, hands to heart center. Now bring the arms by the sides for Tadasana. And let's talk here a little bit about alignment. So root into all 4 corners of the feet. So the big toe mound, little toe mound, inner outer heel. I'm doing a little dance here as I show that to you. Root into all 4 corners of the feet. As you root into the feet, lift the chest and head up. Stack the hips over the ankles, shoulders over hips, and head over shoulders. So everything is in a straight line here. Then inhale, take the palms away from you and lift the arms up by the ears. Again, everything stays in one line, even wrists all the way down. Flip the palms to the wall behind you and then take the palms of the hands to the shoulder blades. So notice if your back starts to arch. This tends to happen a bit when the shoulders are tight. So if that happens, tailbone comes towards the heels, hip bones come up to the low ribs, trying to keep a neutral spine. So this is your headstand position, right? Except you're on your feet. When we go upside down, it's a little harder to find the alignment, but it's so important to help keep the balance, to stack everything. So just think about how this feels here. You're probably engaging the belly to keep from arching in the back. And then inhale, bring the arms back up by the ears. And exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, bring the foot down between the hands for a lunge. We're gonna hold here. So strong active legs here. Press into the right heel. Notice how that right leg engages and then press that left heel towards the back wall. Keep pulling the chest forward, long torso. And then keep pressing into the feet. Slowly bring the arms and the chest up for a crescent. Inhale here. Exhale, frame the foot. Step back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. Inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale, bring the foot down between the hands for the lunge. Hold here. Press into the feet, pull the chest forward, lift the belly. Gaze is probably a foot in front of the mat. And then press into the feet, come up for crescent. Nice and slow. Slow, steady breath. One more inhale. Exhale, frame the foot, step back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. Hold here. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, bring the foot down between the hands, stay on the ball of the back foot. Inhale, come up, crescent. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lean forward, press off that back foot. And exhale, warrior three. Bend into the standing leg, come back to crescent. Inhale here. Exhale, frame the foot, step back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. Inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale, bring the foot down between the hands. Inhale, come up, crescent. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lean forward, press off the back foot, warrior three. And bend into the standing leg, come back to crescent, lift the arms. Inhale here. Exhale, frame the foot, plank to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. then walk the hands back to the feet. Forward fold at the back of the mat. Hands can rest on the mat or a block, or you can take your peace sign fingers, pointer and middle finger, wrap them around the big toes. Inhale, lift up the torso halfway. Exhale, keep that length, hinge forward from the hips, forward fold, drop the head. Equal weight in toes and heels. Inhale, lift up halfway, release the toes. Exhale, walk the hands to the front of the mat, downward facing dog. And then drop the knees down to the mat for table, setting up for dolphin. So let's take dolphin with the fingers interlaced today. So one thing I see a lot in dolphin is instead of the forearms staying parallel, notice how my elbows start to roll out. If you do that, remember the stacking we talked about when we were standing? You lose that stacking and you lose a lot of your stability and your strong foundation. So hug the elbows in once you put the hands down. And then tuck the toes, lift the hips for dolphin. So here the head is lifted. I often get questions about that. So head is not on the mat, gaze is back between the feet. If you can, take the feet back, dolphin plank. So long line from the back of the head to the heels, lift the belly. Slow, steady breath. And then walk the feet back for dolphin. Hold here one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. And then drop the knees, sit the hips back for child's pose. Inhale, come back to table. Tuck the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. And then slowly, again like we did earlier, baby steps to the front of the mat. You may notice that you can keep the heels down longer. You're a little warmer now. Forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Now setting up for a standing balance pose. You can use the strap for this if you want. So start with the feet wide, hands on the hips. Put weight into the left foot as you lift the right foot up. So this is where you could put the foot in the strap, press the foot forward, or you can grab the big toe. Right shoulder comes back. And then slowly bring that foot down, right hand comes to hip, and then put weight into the left foot as you lift the right. Got my right and left all messed up today. Are you noticing this? Is it just me? Weight into the right foot as you lift the left foot. And then again, you can press into the strap or into the fingers. Keep lifting the chest up, pulling the left shoulder back. Belly is lifting in and up. And then release the foot, bring it down to the mat. Bring the arms down by the sides, couple shoulder rolls. Couple deep breaths. I find people always hold their breath in those standing balance poses. And then come back to Tadasana at the front of the mat. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands just straight back, downward facing dog. And then drop the knees down again. coming into dolphin, but this dolphin variation, we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to walk the feet forward, bring the crown of the head to the mat. And just to figure out the crown of the head, I think this is important. Let's do this really quickly. Thumbs on the upper ears, and bring the pointer fingers together. And figure out where they meet. And it's a little further back on the head than I think most people think. My little hair clip is in the way, but you'll get the idea. So we'll walk the feet forward, bring the crown of the head to the mat, and then rest the back of the head in the hands. Once we're there, we're gonna press into the arms and lift the head up off the mat. If you can't do that today, then you're not ready to practice the headstand. So this is where you would stop and work on developing strength with dolphin. So let's give it a shot. Remember, keep those forearms parallel, fingers interlaced. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, and then walk the feet in. Tuck the chin, bring that crown of the head to the mat. Cup the back of the head into the hands. And then maybe press into the forearms, lift the head. I don't know if you can see that. And then drop the head down, walk the feet back, and come to child's pose. And then walk the hands back, lift the chest, come to sitting on the heels. We're gonna move over to the wall here in just a second. But I wanna emphasize again, if you don't have the strength to lift your head up yet, you're probably not ready to come into a headstand. So keep working dolphin like we did earlier with the head lifted and you're just holding yourself up with the forearms and the shoulders. You'll start to get strength there. In a headstand, you're not actually lifting the head up off the mat. But that little drill helps to make sure that we have enough strength that we're not putting a lot of compression in the neck. So that's why it's really important to me that you pay attention to that. So I'm gonna take my mat over to the wall and we'll go from there. So for me, I was a gymnast and a dancer, and going upside down is not scary at all, but for a lot of people it is. So if you're scared, you may want to practice this with a friend around or a family member just to make sure that you're safe. You should be safe at the wall, but sometimes there's this mental fear. It's nice to make sure that you have somebody around. So from here, there are, I think, two good ways to try and come into a headstand, and I think it's personal preference. Some people like the first way where we'll tuck the legs in. You have a lower center of gravity, so you can just feel comfortable being upside down there. And then maybe the legs extend up. The second option is just to take one leg up and then sort of gently kick the other leg up. But again, that's a little harder, takes a little more hamstring openness, a little more comfort to kind of get your feet up. So we'll try the first one. You can just watch me here for a second. So same thing we did, interlace the fingers, elbows hug in. I'm gonna walk the feet forward, bring the crown of the head to the mat. And so my hands are probably 6 inches from the wall here. So here's where you can bring the first leg in and then the second leg in. You could just hang out here. Get used to that. Maybe the legs come up. Then maybe you come out the way you came in. Bend the legs, feet down to the mat, and then child's pose. It's really important to come to child's pose, especially if you're new to inversions, because sometimes you get so excited you did it, you get up and you're like maybe feeling a little dizzy or disoriented because the blood's rushing from your head. So just make sure you take a child's pose. So interlace the fingers. I'm not going to do it, but I'll walk you through it. Bring the forearms down, hug the elbows together. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, and then walk the feet in. Bring the crown of the head to the mat, and take the back of the head into the hands. Press into those forearms, just like you did when you were lifting the head off the mat. The head stays on the mat, but you want to use the strength again of the shoulders here to keep pressure off the neck. Then tuck one leg in, Maybe you hang out there today, just getting used to that feeling. Or maybe you pull the belly and use your core to help lift that second leg in. And then you could hang out there, or maybe you come down, take your child's pose. And then walk the hands back, lift the chest. I'll show you the second option and then I'll walk you through it. So same thing we did before. Dolphin, walk the feet in, take the crown of the head down, press into the forearms. And then take one leg up, little bend in the bottom leg, gentle kick. Gentle kick. Feet come to the wall. And then maybe they come apart or away from the wall. And then try and come down with as much grace and ease as you did going up. That's hard. And then child's pose. So I've been practicing this a long time, so it's not hard for me to get my hips over my shoulders, over my elbows, but that's the hard part for a lot of people. So I encourage people to take the kicks really slowly. I see people, they just want to get up there and then they hurl their body and they make a loud noise. And I find that people who move slower have more control. They can figure out the balance faster, if that makes sense. So give it a shot. Interlace fingers, tuck the toes, lift the hips for dolphin. And then walk the feet in, take the crown of the head to the mat and place the back of the head in the hands. From here, you decide which leg goes up first. Then the bottom leg, take a little bend, baby kicks. Baby kicks. Maybe the first 3 times you don't even get to the wall. It's okay. Take your time. Once the feet are at the wall, if you're comfortable, try and take them away from the wall at the same time. I like the same time better. You don't have to do it that way. You can take one and then the other. But I find you learn the engagement of your core if you can do both feet at the same time. So think of bringing the hip bones to the low ribs, engaging the belly as you take the feet away from the wall. And then try and come down with as much grace and ease as you got up. So one leg down, come to child's pose. And then come back into table, tuck the toes, lift the hips for down dog. One thing we like to do after we do a headstand is kind of do this down dog, shake the head yes and no. Just in case there's like any pressure, get some movement there, release any tension, and then drop the knees, sit back for child's pose. Walk the hands back, lift the chest, come into Baddha Konasana. So just bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees come out, and lift the chest up on the inhale. Exhale, hinge from the hips, long spine, come forward. We did a lot of stuff with the legs sort of in this neutral position today, so probably feels good just to get a little external rotation of the leg in the hip socket. And then inhale, come all the way up. Grab a block if you have one. If you don't, that's okay. You could have like a folded blanket or a towel. And then bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. Just grab onto the back of the legs and slowly come down. Bring the ankles under the knees, arms by the sides, palms facing down. And inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips low back, mid back for bridge. Exhale, come down. Inhale, slowly roll up. Take your time, move with the breath. Exhale, lower. Inhale, last time. As you lift the hips, if you have the block or a blanket, you can take the block or blanket under the sacrum, those 2 bony points there, beneath the low back. And then bring the arms by the sides, palms facing up. close the eyes here. I find that some people find this part of yoga to be a challenge, just being still. But this should feel good on your low back. Again, we did a lot of forward folding, and so this little gentle opposition to all of that movement. And if you were watching the video just for the headstand, you may have already stopped the video. I encourage you to take this time. This is an important part of a yoga practice too. It's fun to do a headstand, and I have as much fun as the next person doing that. There's something really gratifying about being able to do the harder poses, but being able to relax and be still is as important. Press into the feet, lift the hips, take the block off to the side, take the hips down. Oh, and just take a moment, notice how that feels. And then take the feet out as wide as the mat. Bring the arms out to a T. Take an inhale, and exhale, take the knees to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. And inhale, center. Exhale to the left, and then bring them back to center. Hug the knees into the chest. And then extend the legs straight out onto the mat for Shavasana. Eyes closed. And just take a minute to notice how you reacted to your practice today. I find inversions can be frustrating, they can be exhilarating, have all these different emotions depending on the day and how your body moves. And so notice how you react to that. None of us are perfect, none of us have a perfect practice. And so how we choose to react to our daily practice is important, and we can work on that just as we work on how we react to things in the rest of our lives. Let your breath be natural here. And start to deepen your breath. And wiggle the fingers and toes. Circle the ankles and wrists. And reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Stretch from fingers to toes. And roll off to your right side. And press into your left palm. Come up to a comfortable seated position, eyes closed, hands at heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.